Start of a new series for India. Their first international assignment in 2020 starts in New Zealand with the first of 5 T20 as we're looking ahead to that game on ESPNcricinfo match day with Sanjay Banger. And here are 5 things to watch out for. Right, so Sanjay Banger is with me, and this isn't just the start of any series. It's a chance for India to try and actually win a T20I series in New Zealand for the first time. At number 5, that's what we're focusing on. There have only been 2 T20I series, bilateral series in New Zealand that India have played. It's been a decade apart. Sanjay was part of the team in 2019, but that's the overall record, Sanjay. So I know T20I series are few and far in between. Is it a tough place? It's a deceptively tough place to play cricket in New Zealand. You think, oh, it's short grounds and batting friendly, but India don't have the best of records there.
Well, I mean, any team which has gone there and did well, I think they've understood the local conditions really well. Like last time, this Indian team went and won 4-1 in ODI series, and at that point in time, probably they had decoded how to play those local conditions really well. So from that perspective, yes, obviously there are different wind patterns to it, strong breeze blowing from across the grounds, or even shorter straight boundaries, longer square boundaries at particular areas, and the New Zealand players, the local players, know very well how to play to those conditions or how to play to those dimensions, and that is the reason if teams are able to decode that and make their strategies around that, I feel any visiting team can still do well in New Zealand.
Right, at number 4, we've got Tim Southee to lead this attack. Now, he's a vastly experienced international fast bowler, but you look at the numbers of the rest of that bowling attack, and between Scott Kuggeleijn, Blair Tickner and Hamish Bennett, who's in fact uncapped in T20Is, there's just 12 international T20I caps between them. Now, Hamish Bennett does have a test cap, as it turns out, against India. That's a long time back, but that is something that they'd be looking at, the possible vulnerability when it comes to international experience. Although, having said that, Scott Kuggeleijn's been around the scene for a while, played a couple of games for CSK as well, and has played enough T20 cricket. Blair Tickner and Hamish Bennett do have some T20 experience behind them. At number 3, as we go to what would be India's very strong pace bowling attack led by Jasprit Bumrah. As it turns out, it's his debut series in New Zealand. He didn't play the last time that India were there. He tends to be managed with his workload, India's premier seamer. And we look at the most T20I wickets for India. You do see Bumrah up top and Yuzvendra Chahal at number 2. It'll be interesting to see if Chahal does start. But as far as Bumrah is concerned, he doesn't take too long to understand conditions as a fast bowler. But again, looking at a man who's coming back from injury and whatnot, from what you saw of Bumrah through the home series, do you think he's back to his best?
As a seamer, when you go to New Zealand or New Zealand conditions, obviously the lengths that you generally bowl are slightly fuller. So that is an adjustment that somebody like a Bumrah showed that he could make. Even when he played that England Test series, wherein those lengths have to go up when you play in England by at least a foot. So that is the adjustment that he was able to make in England, and I don't see any reason why he cannot make those adjustments in New Zealand conditions as well.
Okay, well, India will need their bowlers to be at their best, because you talk about the Eden Park at number 2, and it's one of the great grounds in the world. At least it has a lot of history, the Eden Park, but it also sees a lot of runs getting scored. We're looking at the average first innings score in the last 60 T20Is. Here it's 179. 112 sixes have been hit in these matches as well, so it's a big hitting ground. So trust bowlers to have a significant impact. If you look at that record, teams batting first have won 3 and lost 2 matches, and there was also a tie at Eden Park. And finally, at number 1, what would India's 11 be like going into this series in this first T20? And I look at Sanjay Banger's 11. Now that sees room for Rishabh Pant straight away. So this idea of continuing with KL Rahul as wicketkeeper in Sanjay's eyes is something that he'd bring Rishabh Pant straight back. Now, perhaps an indication by Virat Kohli that Rahul could be the preferred glovesman for this series. So very interesting to know what Sanjay's thoughts on this would be.
The thing of playing all 3 top order batsmen in Rohit Sharma, Shikhar Dhawan and KL had arisen because all 3 were available and batting really well. Now, in the absence of Shikhar Dhawan, it provides the opportunity for the team management to go to a combination which they otherwise would have opted to do with 2 openers. So I feel that Rishabh Pant should be a continuity in this sort of a setup, and Shikhar Dhawan's unfortunate injury gives KL Rahul the chance to move up the order and gives the team management to show and to repose the faith in Rishabh Pant again.
Alright, looking at that team, just one more question that I would be, why Kuldeep ahead of Chahal for the T20? As we've seen Virat Kohli sometimes go Chahal's way for the T20s and Kuldeep for the ODIs.
Well, in the last two series, we definitely saw that Kuldeep Yadav also did make an impact in the T20 internationals as well. He has a greater strike rate, so to say, and continuity factor, because he's somebody who's played a lot of cricket recently, and definitely there would be some rotation. There would be a talk of giving every player an opportunity, so that would come probably in the fourth or fifth match. So I feel that Kuldeep Yadav would still be in my playing 11.
Many thanks to Sanjay Banger. You see Sanjay backing the Indian team this time to stage a series win in New Zealand. We'll have Sanjay's thoughts to preview every one of those games on ESPN Cricinfo Match Day.